guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I'm your host Bastion, this is Nintendo News. Let's get to that news. This is just a silly little, not very interesting news post, but I mean I find it very interesting, but there's not much content to it. It's just simply that over in Germany, they've decided that they're going to name the Zelda DLC pack for Mario Kart 8 the Eponator. You know, Epona and Terminator. I guess. I don't know. Very silly. The notorious Super Mario Brothers film from the 90s or whatever that time was. One of the co-directors, the co-director for the movie, has stepped forward and said, you know, actually, originally the original script that we got was actually much closer to the Mario games themselves. However, and then he goes on to describe that, in his opinion, there was no point in doing that. That really they should invent a completely different lore that's different from the video games, and that, in his opinion, what would be a better idea was not to try to mimic the games themselves, but try to tell, like, the real story behind the games, so that, you know, myths and legends evolve out of usually more mundane events. And so this is kind of like his approach to the Super Mario Brothers movie, to say, you know, well, eventually, he even had this silly little thing where he said, you know, the concept is eventually somehow people at Nintendo heard about these events, and then there was something lost in translation because they're Japanese, and then the Nintendo embellished upon it and made it more magical and colorful, and so it's kind of like the telephone game, in his opinion. This is the much more realistic thing that occurred, that then eventually the childhood storybook version, which is the actual Mario games, is based on. And that's an interesting concept, but nobody liked the movie because it was exactly that, because they didn't adhere anywhere close to the video games themselves. And I have never watched the movie, to be honest with you. I have zero interest in it. It just is not Super Mario Brothers to me, and now we know why it isn't. So anyways, that is it for this episode of Nintendo News. See you guys tomorrow for more news. Bye, guys.